Okay, so this is a topic that I really want to talk about because I have had a whole journey with it growing up. It's about choosing yourself. So, a little story time. When I was a kid, we were on the school trip and we had to form a line, and I don't know what obsession kids had back then to be the first in the line and to have the line start behind them. So they were literally fighting to get the first spot in the line when the teachers asked everyone to form the lines. And so I don't fully remember the context, but then I heard this girl say about another girl that, oh, she's so selfish. And the two other girls with her were all gossiping about her. And I remember this was when I was 6 years old. And I also remember the younger me, the little girl, me, went in her head that, oh, I don't want to have anyone say that about me. Like, I didn't even know what is the meaning of selfish back then. So I think I've had this thing about me all my life that I don't want to be gossiped about. But of course, I now know that it cannot be controlled, and also I'm in a position in my life where I'm like, I don't give a fudge. Okay, so that's different. But then talking about the whole trajectory of my life and how I have grown and I've had different relationship with different situations where I would choose myself or I wouldn't choose myself. I fell into people pleasing. I wouldn't have boundaries. I would have two form of boundaries such that I wouldn't be able to connect with anyone. It's been a whole journey. And so that's why choosing yourself is a topic that's really interesting to me, because even in today's world, when someone chooses themselves unapologetically, people around them make faces or they just judge them so hard. They're like, oh, they're so arrogant and they're so rude and they're so selfish. And that the word selfish is what I heard when I was 6. Since then it's been like, it's just become a weird word for me now, till now. But now I'm like, I want to be selfish, but in a good way, because I also know that I'm a really kind person and I always wish the best for people. I always meet people with a big smile, and I wish them the best for the day or for the life, or when we have a chat, I'm always interested in the other person's story and how their mindset is and everything. So I love being a kind person. I love being the warm person that I am. But then there's also a side of me that can be cold as hell. And so another major part of my journey was to balance, if not balance, to understand that I've got these two sides. Because when I would be this kind, warm person, I would also see that I'm being treated like a doormat when I was younger. Of course, everyone has that experience. And so that's when my unapologetic cold side would kick in internally, where I would feel like glaring at the person or just giving them a earful and just putting them in their place, but I wouldn't, because why waste energy? So it's like I've had a whole contrasting journey with choosing yourself, and so I think it makes today's video all the way more interesting and important, which would have some really good takeaways for you as well. So another part is that I've always been the rebellious kind, and so whenever I would see that the society doesn't want you to choose yourself, they want you to comply, and they want you to just agree to whatever they're saying. They want you to not have boundaries so then they can benefit from it. I have never let that happen. Whatever I went through, the people pleasing, the being too nice of a person such that they always took me for granted or they didn't treat me well, that was because of me. That was because I was learning to have boundaries, etc. But I never let the rules of the society and the people affect my behavior. That, oh, okay, this is how I should follow because I've been told to do that. That has just made me angry for some reason, always, to be told what to do. So I never do that. And another thing is that I have really strong critical self-analysis, and so I sit and talk with my inner critic. And so whenever I am choosing myself in whatever situation it may be, tangibly or intangibly, I know that I am not harming anyone. I am not, disrespecting anyone. I am just doing this for my own good, and I'm doing this for my mental health. I'm doing this to be closer to my goals. I'm just doing this for myself, and so it's none of anybody's business that it offends them just because I chose myself. And so when I do that and I see people's reaction and their faces and their literally the expressions that they have on their faces, it's amusing to me. Which is why I wanted to make this video as well, that girl or guy, bro, just choose yourself. Just see what happens when you choose yourself unapologetically, and you will see who is celebrating that about you. It won't be a loud celebration, but they won't be sulking. That's the biggest giveaway. They won't be sulking, and they won't be making expressions as if you said something really offensive to them. Because I've had people do that around me, and honestly, it would be so funny. But this is how I can be now. But if you're someone who is still learning to, set boundaries and to choose themselves, this video is for you. So here's where we start to actually think that we shouldn't choose ourselves. Of course, it's the conditioning from all our lives. You're either born with it, where you're just not giving a freak, but 99% of us, with the elders, with the teachers, with our classmates, scolding us or not respecting our boundaries, even as a kid, forcing us to behave a certain way, to speak a certain way, to not do certain things, such as don't talk back, or teachers would be like, don't speak your mind, just do as I say. So all that, of course, waters down your self-confidence and your unapologetic side that you have. And so, of course, you will struggle with choosing yourself, and you've always been watered down. And so we soften our boundaries. Before we even learn to make some, whatever existing boundaries that we have is always walked over, is always broken, is always surpassed and not respected as a kid. By classmates, by teachers, by elders, we know that. And so slowly but steadily, when we understand that it's actually not right, and your sense of self starts becoming stronger, you're like, no. Even if it would be one thing or two, in certain things, as you grow older, you'll be like, no, it's not right, I just don't want to do it. And so it shouldn't be a problem if I don't want to do it. I'm not harming anyone. And so when you start asserting your boundaries, even in the slightest way, it is gonna put people off. And on the other side, inside of us, it's like we soften our boundaries, we wait until we're exhausted, and so we can justify them as to why we chose ourselves, or why we did not do as you expected me to do because I was exhausted. And so we wait till the breaking point, and then we justify it as well, that, oh, I don't want, like, this reason, that's why I don't want to do it. Why can't you just do it and be like, I don't feel like it? And don't always have to say boundary. Just if there's a plan that you don't want to go to, if there's a certain group of people that you don't quite like, or who don't give off the right vibes, who are the wrong sort of company, and they're forcing you to come to this party, or let's hang out, or what are you gonna do sitting in your room studying anyway, just let's hang out, or whatever, and it's not the right kind of people to hang out with, okay, if it makes easier, make an excuse, but do not justify any further. I know it's hard because the next day you have to go to the school or to college and meet the same people. I understand. And I think guys have it harder that way, because I've seen in school, like, guys would be bullied so much and they would get violent and they would beat each other and stuff. For girls, it's different. Like, girls don't do it. They only just verbally try to break your confidence as much as possible, which is weird and bitchy in its own way. But yeah, I sympathize with guys as well. Like, in school, I used to see and I used to feel so bad that in girls, at least, there's this boundary that you're not beating each other up, and you're not, okay, cat fights or whatever, I've not seen any. But for guys, they would literally just put the coat over their head and they would beat and stuff. So yeah, like, that's a bit sad. But either way, I trust you that you will find a way, because you're smart enough. You don't need to watch another video to actually be told what to do. But by the end of this video, I'm sure with the Finding Light takeaways, you would have a direction to then form your own unique ideas on to how you're going to choose yourself in a way that doesn't land you in problems. And so there's a different way to choose. Choosing yourself doesn't need witnesses. Okay, you don't have to make loud announcements or make it really obvious. It can start with the simplest and the tiniest of things. It can be subtle, it can even be unseen. Only you would know in your heart that I chose myself. And that's gonna improve your self-trust in yourself, and nobody around you would even know that you did something like that. So you don't have to make it really grand and obvious as you start out on this journey. But here's a reminder. You do not owe any explanation or clarity to the people who benefited from your confusion. And you do not owe any explanation to why you are asserting boundaries now who benefited from you having no boundaries. That's actually the truth. Think about it. And so choosing yourself can be as simple as not replying straight away, saying no with a story or an excuse, like I just said, changing your mind last moment. You're allowed to. It's your life, it's your mind. You're not feeling like going to the trip, or you're not feeling like going to the plan. It's okay. You're not obliged to. And of course, you're also allowed to rest without earning it, or without, feeling guilty about it. You can rest because you are a human. You're working hard. You're procrastinating, but then you're also struggling about it. And so your brain is running. And so just rest for a while without guilt. That's also choosing yourself. I'm not saying this from the sense of procrastination. You know which type of rest I'm talking about. So no announcement, no performance, no explanation, and no guilt. And so here's a finding light with the tiny takeaways that you can start implementing right away, if not the big grandeur steps. Okay, the first one is your quiet choices still matter. You don't need approval for self-respect. Second, your boundaries don't need any explanations. Just explain it to your loved ones, but to the people, as soon as you step out of your house. Adulting teaches us that it's only our family members, not even our family members, just our parents and sibling. 3 people. Grandparents, if they're good by nature, only they matter. No friends, no best friends, because best friends change, and whatever it is. Like, I would be having the closest of friends, but only my family will know what's actually going in my head and in my life. And so for me, my family is my parents, my brother, my grandparents, and my uncle, who is my mother's brother, so mama. I only have these people whom I am close to. But yeah, you do not have to explain your boundaries, especially even more so to those people who benefited from you having no boundaries. And your comfort and the way you're feeling right now is a valid reason enough that I don't feel like going to this plan right now, so I'm skip. And that's a valid enough reason. No further explanation or excuses or stories required. And third, peace grows in silence. This is something I had to learn a hard way, and I'm sure you're learning it the hard way as well. But I'm here to tell you, peace grows in silence. Not everything meaningful needs an audience, witnesses, explanations, approvals, like other people validating. Stop seeking external validation. Your peace is your responsibility. Cut out the noise, cut out the scrolling, cut out the distractions, cut out the people who drain your energy. And you're already doing a lot, more than enough, to handle and to create and to manage your own peace. So you're allowed to choose yourself unapologetically, and you don't have to feel guilty or bad about it. And those who say that, oh, you've changed, tell them that's the whole point. I hope this helped. I'll see you in the next one.